Hello and welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. I was scrolling through LinkedIn and I came across this beautiful piece of artwork, and there was a great story behind the artist and the gallery it was connected to. And so we're going to meet that artist in just a minute. But first, I'm going to introduce you to Karina Schmidt, who is the owner of the Coral Gables Art Gallery. And so I want to talk to you about this great gallery and how you are impacting the community. Hi, Karina.
Hi, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here. It's an honor to be part of Newsworthy Stories.
So tell me about the Coral Gables Art Gallery and why it's unique and how you're able to reach so many more people than a typical gallery.
Well, Coral Gables Art Gallery has been around really since the fall of 2021 when I started working with an artist from Denmark, Hans Steiner. And the reason why we have sort of stayed online so far is because everything is turning digital anymore. We're living in an information age, in a digital society in which we're able to connect with people at a much broader scale than just a brick and mortar building. And even though we have the name Coral Gables, that's really because of where I originally had my office as well, for a publishing company. And what we're trying to do is reach out to the community at a broader scale, both our local community, where we seek to help other business owners and nonprofit organizations with fundraising with art. Art is one of those unique professions and disciplines, you can say, where you really connect the artistic world and creativity with people. And it starts for many at even, it can also be something that happens in their life that just triggers that desire to explore their creativity. And this is where we try to help with fundraising with art. For example, um, a school's program for art and theater, and connecting people
Can you tell
through.
us about this program, Tunnels to Towers?
Well, Tunnels of Towers is an amazing organization, I think, because what they do is they have since 9/11, which impacted everybody in America, one way or the other. They have since then helped veterans, first responders, law enforcement officers that have been wounded while they're on duty. And they help them with providing mortgage free housing for smart homes. And I've talked to quite a few veterans. Also, our family has a history on my children's side of the family, being members of the armed forces. That was the Navy. So, what we're trying to do is use art, and when the art sells, whether it's through direct sale or an auction that we establish, the proceeds of the art goes to Tunnel for Towers, and our goal this year is to raise over $200,000 for um, Tunnel to Towers, because we feel that it's so important to back up and support our law enforcement officers, our EMTs that are doing a tremendous job in our society and are a vital, very important element of our society. If you need help, you want to make sure that they're there and not be told, call your insurance company, right?
Right, right. So, can you
So
talk
it's
to
so
me a little
important.
bit about the artists that are in your gallery?
Well,
Um,
yes, Hans Steiner is a unique artist. He does a lot of abstract and also his own spin on what's called Cobra. Cobra actually started in 1948, just after World War II. It was a movement that lived really only for a short period of time, a few years, but has expanded with other artists. It stands for Copenhagen, Brussels, and Amsterdam. So it's the artists from these three regions that got together, and he's from the vicinity of Copenhagen. This is one of his amazing art pieces that's at the Greve Business Center. Pardon me.
It's
It,
humongous.
it is really big. It
Oh my goodness.
measures in inches, 177 inches tall. That's the height of it, and then the width is it's about 57. So it's really big, and it's gorgeous. This is an example of Cobra, which takes an element of reality and distorts it in a sort of humorous way, which I think he does a tremendous job of. This one here measures 39 by 39. So it's a large painting. When you see it in real life, it really makes a huge impression on you because the colors are so vibrant, and the
Yeah.
play on shapes and form, I think, is unique, which is what makes him an incredible artist. He explores with touches of reality, but again mixed with this otherworldliness. I mean, we look at the one in the middle here, and to your left as well, where we see two mouths. Well, in reality, we would not have two mouths on a person, but it can be certainly interpreted as speaking out of both sides of your mouth, which is one of the things that we sometimes question: are people speaking out of both sides of their mouths, or are they holding something back that they would really love to say, but because of censorship is one of the things that we're talking a lot about in our society anymore. Are we holding ourselves back because of that? And then you have this bird on the side here that just wants to chirp perhaps the truth.
You
Um,
never know. It's up to the
yeah,
the eye of the
this is what
beholder, right?
I love about abstract art too, and these distorted versions of reality, because we can really put so many thoughts into it that are applicable to ourselves, because art is very subjective. We see the rib cage of these two characters. Does that mean that we need to take a deep look into our own soul, or boast? you know so that's one of the fascinations that I have with art, and that we want to share with people.
Yeah, no, I mean it is really and also it's so hard. I mean, all the detail, right?
Yes.
And the difference, from the abstract art and then the Cobra art. It was just, the detail
Cobra
is
is,
just,
it's incredible. Yeah.
yeah, pretty magnificent. I do want to talk about a little bit about the artwork that I saw, scrolling through LinkedIn, and it was this beautiful artwork from a young person
Yes.
by the name of Olivia Schmidt. It's really interesting. That's your last name.
Correct. That's correct. Yes, I
So
posted that on LinkedIn because it was Olivia Schmidt's first piece of art that she had sold to a veteran in our local community, which we thought was really amazing. He served in Iraq for the U.S. Army, and they started talking about art one day, and he commissioned her to do something for him, and it just became a huge, wonderful piece that surprised everybody. She has been painting for 10 years now. So
So, joining me now to talk more about this beautiful piece of artwork is the artist herself, and this is Olivia Schmidt.
Thank you for letting me be here. It's an honor.
I am just excited to have you. When I was first looking at the art and your mom was telling me about it, I really wasn't looking at the last name, and then it dawned on me, oh my gosh, this is her daughter, you know? So, tell us about what we're seeing. What were you thinking about when you were creating this piece of artwork?
Well, I really wanted to paint. Well, he wanted a landscape, but landscapes are really not the thing I normally do. So I decided to make a landscape in a way I like to paint.
And what were you thinking about when you were painting it?
I was I was thinking about, I was trying to combine different elements. Like, I was trying to combine different colors to make the sky is more of an abstract. Wow. The top is more abstract, while the bottom is more like what grass would look like.
Yeah, I really like the pictures and the colors that you chose. It just looks like a place I want to go visit. It's like I want to go there wherever that place is. But this is not your only piece of work. Your mom sent me some really cool stuff. Oh, wait, no, that's you. But look what else Olivia came up with. Now, tell me about what this story is about.
So this one, I kind of pictured like mom gave me this idea. In a way, I pictured a like Italian mafia guy smoking a cigarette on his porch.
Nice. Now, I would have never thought that, but it's just so vivid. I mean, to
I
be
think when
able
I saw it, I was amazed because she really just asked me, what do you want me to paint? And I said, I don't know, some guy with a cigar hanging out of his mouth and looking, like, what is this world about, right? And she comes up with this expressionist um, painting here with this guy that it seriously looks like he has been through a tough time in life. You can see the discoloration of his teeth, and his eyes are sort of distorted in a way. And then he lost his hands. I mean, his hands are almost like claws, which, with having that background in art appreciation that I do from both college and just my general interest and love of art, it tells me, I have that analytic background, right? So to me, it's like, did he really lose his grip on his life? What is he trying? Is it a cry for help here? Which I think she has managed to express so beautifully in this painting.
it how old were you when you painted this artwork?
12 years old.
It really just tells you um and again, the eyes. You have some of the things that you're doing, I noticed that you have a thing with eyes. So talk to me about why you draw the eyes, or what is it about the eye that is attractive to you?
Well, I feel like the eyes are a picture to the soul and can show how they really feel inside. Like if somebody looks like they're smiling from the outside, but they're really crying, is it true that they're smiling?
This is neat. I mean, just the colors that you choose, um, and the you have such a what do you call it? You went from the landscape to the guy with the cigar, to this. I mean,
A
you've
broad
got such a
range.
thank you, a broad range of the type of artwork. I can't even imagine what you're going to come up with next. There's just I want to bring these full because I want people to see, as much as they can, the detail behind what you're doing. What do you want people to understand about your artwork? Because a lot of times people don't get a chance to talk to the artist. What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that art is a you can do whatever you want with art. Art doesn't mean that it just can be landscapes or that it just can be portraits of different women. It can be a lot more than that.
And what is there something else that you think, you know what, is there something you're working on, or something in your mind, or the types of artwork that you want to consider?
Well, I think one of the things that I see in art, both Olivia's art and others as well. We just showed the previous one with the peace sign and so on. Is that there's an element of history in art as well, and you see that in a sense in this one how the eyes, I mean, our view of the world changes as we go through the different stages of life that we all experience. The same with, she paints mouths very vividly, but in a sort of distorted way, which means, well, we go through different stages of life where we change oftentimes how we see the world based on our experiences, and just our level of education, but our education of life more than the academic education that we go through. And so that may change how we speak about things, how we voice our opinion, the vocabulary that we acquire over the years, and how we see the world. And I think her paintings really depict that very nicely. And
Now,
one of the artists that we just brought on as well, Candy Warshafer, she does that very beautifully too, with the different faces that she paints. And you see that in Hans Diener's Cobra art as well, how we all are part of a world that has so many diverse avenues that we can walk down on. And I'm not talking about it in terms of like race or gender or anything like that, but our world is really big, and it's up to us to really get the best out of it by connecting with people. Like, for example, you and I connected. You reach out to me through LinkedIn, and that's just wonderful how we can use our resources today to meet wonderful people.
and I'm not sure that we discussed it in detail, that this is an online art gallery. Can you talk a
Correct.
little bit more about that? And then how people can reach you? I know that it's scrolling across the bottom, but what do you want them to know about your art gallery? And, especially if there's an artist out there who wants to bring you their art.
Sure, absolutely. So we are online, and the reason I have remained online so far is simply because we want to reach more than just the local community. When we are able to connect with people, both domestically but also internationally, we are able to reach out to a world that's really not that far away from our own. We might live in different countries or different parts of the United States where, our housing looks different, or our way of life is different, our mentality is a little bit different, but all together, we are people that connect and that use our resources through either social media or, going back to just picking up the phone and say hello to each other. We connect, and no matter how our world is changing, we're still able to connect. We find ways to reach out to people, to build rapport, and so on. And it's one of the things that I'm really, I would say, focused on when I do business with people. It doesn't matter because I have a background in financial services as well.
I saw
Doing
that.
business, yes, I also do business lending and insurance. But I see, with no matter what I've done in my life, connecting with people is really important, and it's how we care to connect with each other. Yes, we have the ability to just click and buy products or whatever, but um, when I connect with people, either through a partnership or connecting with new artists or buyers and so on, it's important for me that we connect as human beings, that we see each other. And one of the things that the digital world has provided is the ability to connect, say through Zoom or Skype or our cell phone, setting up meetings so that we still connect with somebody, even though that they're in New York and we're in Miami, or they're in Canada, or wherever they may be. We put a face on each other and get to know each other. And
Well,
it's so important. I think it's so important that we really make sure that we keep that human aspect, no matter how digitalized our world becomes. The moment that I have somebody that says, well, just pick a product and pay, I'm sorry, but I have to cut him off. simply because we have no idea who we're dealing with. And it's one of the things that we also have to be very protective of in a digital world. So connecting through video is extremely important to me because I want to see who I'm doing business with. I want to make sure that it's not that art, for example, is not being sent to somebody that is laundering money.
Okay, absolutely.
These are very important things to me to stay real with people.
Thank you for sharing that because that really does tell us more, and I encourage people because what I am also is a media strategist. And one of the things I tell people is that it's not so much what you're selling or what you're doing in business that really matters to the people who are coming to your business. They really want to know more about you.
Yes.
Are you somebody they want to do business with? Are you somebody they want to promote? And I have met people that I simply cannot promote, because of the way, of their behavior. And that's unfortunate when they do have a good product, but I
Right.
just can't promote them. So it was just like I said, when I came across the artwork, that's the first thing that caught my attention. But it was the story behind you that made me want to talk to you more. The tunnels to towers. This is great because I know you're just getting to know newsworthy stories, but businesses that impact the community, in general, that's what the media it wants to connect with the most. Your local media, your national media. When you see stories about business in the media, it's generally because they are impacting the community in some way. And so
Right.
I just wanted to
And
say thank you so much for, an opportunity to share your story, and get to know you and introduce you to the community from the people that from this platform. And it was great to, highlight Olivia's work as well, because that will inspire other young artists. I have some in my house. I have some young artists in my own home, that I create postcards out of their work, and share them as well. It's an idea and I even apparel. I create apparel out of it, because I love their artwork. So there's so much you can do, even as a young person, in the business standpoint. So I'm sure you guys will discuss all those things. But is there anything else you want to share just before we
Yeah,
end today?
so just rounding up how people can reach out to us with fundraising with art. It really is a great program. Every time somebody buys art at the gallery, for fundraising with art for Tunnels to Towers, it's really focused on Hans Steiner's art and allowing organizations or private individuals to contact us and help this organization reach more families that have served a country one way or the other. When it comes to especially Olivia's art, a portion of the funds collected for the art sold automatically goes to her school's art and theater program. They put together a really wonderful Christmas program before Christmas at her school, and we want to give back to the community with her help. So every time somebody buys a painting, whether it's a print on canvas or they contact us and say we're literally interested in the original art and not just print on canvas, we make sure that the sale has a portion that goes towards the school, and it's actually a high percentage of the art that does that. And the same with Candy Schaefer. I'm sorry, War Schaefer's art that we're just bringing on, and it'll be available this coming week on our website. She did a tremendous creation of faces, and I just love the vibrant colors that she used and so on. She passed in the beginning of the 2005. So it's through her family that we want to give back to the community as well. Again, a portion of the proceeds will always benefit either like Tunnel for Towers, somebody's school. We work with Wounded Warriors as well. And if somebody has an organization that they would like to raise money for, we welcome them anytime to see how can we help give back to, for example, it could be children with cancer, or preserving our beautiful Everglades in Florida, or something like that. The only thing that I don't do is I don't get involved in politics, so we can't raise money for political candidates or campaigns in that respect. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Well, thank you so much.
Community.
No, absolutely. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I don't think anyone will be
And
surprised
it's such
by
an
that.
honor to be on your show and be able to share this with you. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thanks for coming, and nice meeting you, Olivia, as well.
Thank you so
too.
much. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.